Hey guys, what's going on? This is Josh from Spotted Euros, and as you can see behind me, this is our 2005 Volkswagen Touareg V8. We've done plenty of videos on this car, but we haven't talked about all of the issues that this car has. So in this video, we're going to talk about everything that is wrong with my 2005 Volkswagen Touareg. It's not a long list, but it is a list, and there are things wrong with it. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so the reason we are thinking about everything that is wrong with this Touareg is because recently we picked up a 2009 Volkswagen Touareg Tdi, and there's a good chance we're keeping that Touareg and we're going to be selling this V8. So like everything, instead of fixing issues while you have it so you can enjoy it, so you can enjoy the repair, we're gonna fix a few things and then we're gonna sell the car. So there's a couple of things that are wrong. There's a couple of things that have been bugging me about the cars for a long time, and like I said, we're going to try and address those problems. Now, if you're new to the channel, if you're new to the videos, Spotted Euros, we're a used car dealership. We buy and sell cars. You can see throughout the channel, there's a number of cars that we've bought and sold. And then we also do quite a few Touareg videos and Touareg content as well. So if you like what you see, go ahead and check out some of our other videos. If you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. Now, there isn't much wrong, but there are a few things that I'd like to get sorted out. Some more important than others, but that need to get sorted out before we're actually able to sell this thing. I think there's a list of 4 or 5 things, so stay tuned to the end, because the last one is probably the one that needs to get addressed the most, and it was my own fault. So the first thing is, unfortunately, we at some point hit something right here in the front. So you can see there's some body damage, and then the worst thing is this got cracked, but also this sensor got pushed in. So as you can see here, the sensor is just in this hole here. Now this isn't a big fix, but we need to be able to push that sensor out. So right now, the moment you get in the car, the sensors go off, and I assume it's just because that sensor is pushed in and the plastic is reading that there's something right in front of it. So first thing's a small thing, but we need to fix that sensor so that the parking sensors do work. The other thing that needs to get addressed are these headlights. We are going to clear up these headlights once again. We'll clear up the headlights, make them look a little bit better, and that's good. Everything else on the outside of the car looks really good. Honestly, every time I think about really selling this thing, it actually is pretty hard. Doing the walk around videos, this car looks good. I really do like the gray. It doesn't show dirt as much. This car is dirty, but even in the camera, it doesn't really show up too dirty. So everything on the outside, everything else on the outside looks pretty good. Now, this Touareg has always had some paint issues. So you can see here on the hood a little bit. These issues were here when I got the car. The hood is, or the roof is pretty bad. I always debated about fixing this stuff, and then I just never did. This is a 2005, so it's kind of an older car, but anyway, that's an issue. We're not going to address that, we're just going to leave it, but I would say that is definitely something that is kind of too bad. The other thing is here on the passenger side. So soon after we got this car, this front seat started to rip. The leather just might be old. It's pretty rough, and you can see even this front thing here. So this is actually going to get addressed. This is also going to be pretty easy to fix. We're going to do a video about it, and here it is. So I got a new seat cushion, so we're just going to swap these out. So as you can see, it's the same exact thing. That'll be nice. So like I said, this is something that's always kind of bugged me about this car, and of course when we start thinking about actually selling it is when we address the issue. Two other problems here inside the car. One of the issues that I've never been able to fix are these error codes that pop up. So as you can see, we've got ABS, traction control, this downhill symbol, whatever that is. Now this pops up every once in a while when I turn on the car, and then I haven't worried about it too much, just because the moment you turn the car back on, they all go away. So whenever all of those symbols or faults to show up, I just shut off the car and turn it back on. It only happens at startup. Once again, that's something I'm not really gonna worry about. The AC in this Touareg has always kind of had some issues. I'm not exactly sure what the problem is. It only is when the car gets hot. Basically what happens is the fan doesn't want to blow. So you can have this thing on full blast and it's like it's just barely coming out. I've switched out the motor before and it didn't make any difference. So as you can see now, the fans, if I turn this up, the fans will turn on, it blows. The AC's always been cold in this car, that hasn't been the issue. But when the car itself gets really hot, the fan doesn't want to turn on. So I don't know if it's this panel here, if it has to do something with this display not popping up. I'm not sure. So we're gonna see if we can figure that out and fix that problem. So most of the stuff is pretty easy. Most of it is easy to do. Fixing the sensor, headlight, seat. The AC is kind of an intermittent problem, so we'll see what the shop's able to do about that. The last thing, so this is it. This is what I was talking about. So I would always change the oil in this Touareg, and last time, or I guess 2 times ago, anyway, last time I changed the oil in this thing, I stripped the oil pan. So these Touaregs have an aluminum oil pan, and so it's extremely easy to strip the oil pan drain bolt itself. If you go online, I'm sure Touareg owners maybe have dealt with this. It's a problem that comes up all the time. There's a number of dealers who have even done it, you know, mechanics at dealers, all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of a big issue. Now, on other cars, switching out an oil pan is not as big of a deal. I know on some you know, GTIs and stuff that I've done, you just take all the bolts out, the oil pan comes down, and it's not such a big deal. On this Touareg, there is quite a bit in the way. So you have the front subframe, you have a bunch of different stuff in the way of this. So there's quite a bit that has to come down in order to switch that out. So it's gonna be kind of an expensive fix. I'm not gonna do it myself. I'm gonna have the shop take care of it. But we're gonna have to switch out the oil pan. So As you can see right here, I got a new one. The oil pan itself is not very expensive at all, but this plug right here, this is what stripped out. When it first happened, I tried to fix it. I actually bought a tap and a bigger size drain plug, put that in. That's actually what's in the car right now, and it was holding pretty good. I drove it so I put fresh oil in it, fixed the drain plug, and we've been driving it ever since. And it just kind of occasionally would drip a little bit, but honestly it wasn't too bad. So recently I needed to change the oil in this. I went to change the oil, tried to switch to like an O-ring gasket or like a crush washer, all that kind of stuff, and honestly none of it has made any difference. If we walk over to the car where the car was sitting just a second ago, you'll see it's definitely dripping quite a bit of oil right now. This was about a week ago when I changed the oil, and we haven't been driving it since, just because it's been dripping a lot more than it was before. So here's even a clip. I had to put a bucket under this thing because it was leaking so much oil. So right now it's definitely a problem. Right now it definitely needs to get addressed. And the thing is, it kills me because you know, changing the oil myself is supposed to be saving money, and it's actually going to cost me quite a bit. There it is, guys. Tell me what you think. Subscribe if you want to see more. Like I said, I'm going to be coming out with a video about switching out that seat, and then we'll probably do an update video once everything gets cleaned up and is ready to go. So that's it, guys. I love this Touareg. Check out some of our other content, and thanks, guys. Thanks for watching.